last year I was struggling majorly because the people who were my friends were also doing well career-wise, but then they were moving to the new phases in their lives. A lot of my friends were getting married last year. A lot of my friends were buying their first car. A lot of my friends...
Do you guys even like listening to HR podcast, where we go deeper into uncovering human dynamics in the workplace? Or do you think that we are just tools for management or the fun police?
Welcome to the other side of HR, where we spill the tea, debunk the lies and the myths, and navigate the corporate world together. So buckle up and enjoy the ride as we dive into the truth, the lies, and everything in between.
Hello, and you're welcome to another episode of The Other Side of
HR.
Today we have Desmond Ekunwe joining us to talk about comparison being the thief of joy. Desmond is an AMVCA nominee film producer, content manager, the founder behind Alfred and Pat Studios. Desmond, we are thrilled to have you go deep on comparison, social media pressure, and how you stay true and miss all of the noise. You're welcome.
Woo!
Yay! Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome, Desmond. So I want us to start off by saying that Desmond is one person that gives me comparison pressure. Like, because myself and Desmond, we come a long way, and half of the time you're like, Desmond is here, Desmond is here, Desmond is doing this.
He's doing things with his life.
Like, I'm like, what am I doing with my own life right now?
Fake life.
So Desmond, tell us, how do you manage? Because again, it's one thing to be successful, to be like a young person, you're thriving. How do you manage? Do you ever have a situation where you're like comparing yourself to other people? You're like, hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm doing. I don't feel like I'm there.
So yeah, last year I put up a post on Instagram about how I felt like I was struggling. Because for the longest time, when I got out of university, I got a job immediately. When NYSC, I got a job. After NYSC, I resigned from that job and changed jobs. And it was just like anything I wanted, I got. And then I was now trying to break into the film space. And then it was just like, okay, take a bet on yourself, resign from your job. And then it just felt like everything was crashing. I wasn't getting anything. One film, it was the AMVCA year, but then I'd been nominated for an AMVCA. I didn't win my category. But then everybody was like, oh, what's next? And nothing was coming. So it felt very slow and I felt very empty for the first time. And then you hear a lot of people, especially when you've always had like a lot of highs in your career, now say, oh, what's next? And what's next? Forgetting that you've done a lot of groundbreaking stuff for your age. So it's like, oh my God, I really need to get an Emmy at 29. Oh my God, what's going on? So yeah, I've always been in that position that you're comparing yourself. Now you're even trapped with a limbo or the problem of comparing yourself with people who are genuinely older, like people who've given more years than you, but because you've maybe been privileged or you've jumped certain hurdles to get to where you are, you're now thinking that, oh, you should be as rich as somebody who's been working in corporate for, say, 25 years, who owns their own first house, who just built their own first house, and you're thinking, shouldn't I have my own first house when it's not genuinely time?
My question was, how are you able to manage it? Because you see that a lot of people go through this and they actually crash. Like, bring it to career-wise. You go on Instagram and you see someone that LinkedIn, you go on LinkedIn and you see someone that you're like younger than, you have more years of experience, and this person is saying, oh, I am
announce.
Right? It's always something. And it's like, how do you regulate yourself in a way wherein you're not crashing?
So because of the work I do, I work with on television. When I'm producing for television, I produced a show called Robin Minds for 6 years.
Channels?
On Channels Television. Yeah. So every week, we interacted with at least a big celebrity. And then the host is definitely a big celebrity. So you're every time having conversations with celebrities and you become friends with some of them and you see that everything is majorly for show. And you realize that you have a better life than a lot of these people. You see somebody who genuinely cannot pay for their Uber fee showing up with designer outfit.
Crazy. Top
to bottom. Designer outfits. And then you are comparing yourself to them on social media. You're like... So for me, I have come to know that all of those things don't work out. Like what you see on social media is all for sure. with the assumption that, if people see this, they'll buy into it and give me the money in the future. But not right now. So why am I comparing myself with somebody I'm genuinely better than? Sometimes somebody who earns a 300K a month is doing better than somebody who is like, hi guys, I'm in the Maldives, they are crying and just living a fake life using AI backgrounds. Like, there are many things that... So not pressure yourself, or I've come to know that. So last year when I was genuinely struggling, I was struggling because I was seeing people who were my friends. Last year I was struggling majorly because the people who were my friends were also doing well career-wise, but then they were moving to the new phases in their lives. A lot of my friends were getting married last year. A lot of my friends were buying their first car. A lot of my friends were moving cities. They were traveling, moving to the UK, moving to America, moving to Canada, getting global talent visa, getting EB1s, all of that. So in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I've done all these things. I've done all of this. So why am I not getting all of these things? So in my head, it's like comparing myself to the people who are doing the same things I'm doing, but then they also just, when you put the paper or when you, by external validation, you can almost say that this person is doing better because of this glossy thing that they have, which is maybe they relocated to the UK, or they now have a new family, they're married, or they're starting their own business.
So one of the things that I personally struggle with when it comes to comparison is that I think for me, I don't know if this is for everyone, it leads to somehow or some sort of imposter syndrome. Because I'm like, this person is doing this person has gotten here. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm not really getting there. Am I really as good as I think? It gets serious sometimes, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and if I make a little mistake at work, I start to overblow it, and it's like, this is why you haven't made it. This is why you are where you are. This is why and it gets like that. So it's like, how do you manage situations like that? And I'm coming from, to be honest, I'm trying to speak for young people who are really just starting out their career. Like Desmond had said, you see that a lot of times who are trying to compete with people who have given time, blood, and tears to build themselves. You see Yemi Fashion right now that is doing what he's doing as a HR person, and I'm trying to compare myself with him. I just started. I'm like a baby. Like, how do I manage it in a way that it doesn't now destroy me and give me a bad case of imposter syndrome?
So I do think that imposter syndrome is important for every person, but it's what you make of it. So it's good to because imposter syndrome pushes you to put in the hours. So sometimes when you spiral, you find yourself putting the extra time, putting the extra work, check the loopholes to see, what did I miss? And all of those things. So when I see myself spiraling, I create a checklist. And when the checklist says you've done A to Z, typically most work, HR work, corporate work, creative work, when you put down a structure, 1 to 10, and then you follow through, you have great results. So a lot of people maybe you've always been a star. I've always seen you as a star. So you are now like, I want to be a superstar. And then you are now like, how do I get to the superstar? And then you are beating yourself. But I do think that imposter syndrome pushes us to become our best. And it's always good to have it. If you do not have imposter syndrome, or you don't feel you're giving your utmost best at the time, you genuinely do not love that job. You genuinely shouldn't be there. Or it's not challenging enough. And that's usually the point I resign from the work. I used to work in HR. That was my first job. And when I felt that way, that was the day I resigned. I resigned on the 1st of January in 2019. And my boss was like, what's going on? I was like, I just don't feel it. And I did not know where I was going, but then I knew that it was time for me to go. So if I feel that way and then I'm not getting better from it, I'll let it go.
Okay, sorry. And I think also add to what you said as well. I mean, so we have the old facade, the old Instagram thing, right? But I think that there's also something that we also forget in terms of people only post what they want you to see. And like you said, there are people, people coming for events, they come in, looking all dressed up, in all of the luxury designers possible. And they cannot even afford a meal, right? And I think that another thing to also note would be that everybody's timing is also different. Yes. You're in HR, someone else is in HR, but however, maybe this person that you're seeing on Instagram is probably maybe traveling the world, attending, these really fancy trainings, and you are just there. But people have different times. We have people who, Vera Wang, the fashion designer, the man, the owner of is it KFC, or is it, can't remember what it's called, Morgan Freeman, the actor, he got his first acting gig at 49. So in as much as, like you said, imposter syndrome, I think is good. I think that it's just what we just find just maybe like a balance around it.
Yes.
But it's good. But at the same time, also remember that you are who you are. Like you cannot run on someone else's time. And like I said, people just only post what they want you to see. Nobody posts their problems, issues that they're having in their finances, in their marriages, in their friends, whatever. Even at work. You probably even see somebody who is a content creator and their content is aligned to what they do. But maybe at work, they're shitty. Do you get what I'm saying? So all of these things. And I think that another thing will also be consuming less of social media. Like, you cannot be there all the time. You can't be there all the time. Like, imagine you're in a bar and let me just sing something and just see maybe your friend from somewhere, just, like I said, moving countries, traveling the world, and you're like, God.
Catching flights.
God, am I a cucumber? You get what I mean?
And in truth, I've never shared this anywhere. I was sick for a period, for 2 months, and I was off social media. And I do have, like, my phone, if I turn on my data, I would always have something buzzing because I post a lot on my WhatsApp, post on my Insta story, and I was off Instagram for 2 months and I did not get a message. Like, nobody sent me a message. Like, and I'm not even a lot of people did not notice that I was off Instagram. And so you'd be like, oh my God. So on the bed, because I had to lay face down for the period, I'll ask my brother, did anybody send me a message? My brother, I'm like, no, nobody sent you a message. I'm like, that's weird.
Are you sure?
Because typically, I'll have people fighting me that, Desmond, you don't respond to your messages. And I was looking for these messages to respond to.
But is it a thing of maybe it's what you do all the time? Like, you just go off and you know that, okay, that's what's off.
No.
I'm never off social media.
I'm sorry, you said you were ill.
Yeah.
I'm never off social media. So it's just because I'll have a big blown out fight with some of my friends. I'm like, oh my God, you've not spoken to me so long. And
How did that make you feel?
It just made me feel like in social media is fake. Like, it's fake also. I'm like, face your life and do what you must.
Face your life.
Build real life community. So now I'm trying to now reconnect with a lot of my friends. Offline, like, oh, let's hang out on Sunday after church. Come to my church. Let's go do something on Sunday. Let's see a film. That way, you are now knowing that you're building real. But you see, social media don't.
It's even insane. There are people who actually even go out, right? People who go to restaurants, they don't have plans to buy anything or eat anything.
Just to take pictures.
People even go to restaurants with their ring lights.
Restaurants now charge for that.
They charge for
real?
Yes.
I love it.
They don't buy anything.
I love it.
Yeah,
chaos.
so restaurants charge.
I mean, social media is not real, like I said. So don't
pressure yourself now.
No, don't do that.
I feel a type of way now because I was part of the people that did not send me message for 2 months.
No, genuinely, it's okay. So there's no pressure of like, oh, this person. Because genuinely, I would have also been, if I was on the other side, I would still not send the message. But it just teaches you a lesson that people have their lives, people have their own battles that they're fighting, and you are genuinely not top of mind most of the time.
That's even a priority.
Yeah, but yeah, top of mind for me. Anyway, so I think that I want us to be able to draw a line between pressure and inspiration, right? Because I really love how you say that we should look at imposter syndrome, right? It is, this is where I need to be. Do I need to be better? So I feel like that's like a good way to look at it. So maybe the next time I have something that I'm like, okay, maybe I do need to be better, right? However, how are we able to separate pressure from, this is an inspiration for me to do better as it comes to comparison, social media, and all that?
How are you able to separate pressure from
using whatever has been posted on social media as, this is an inspiration for me to be better, or this is a pressure, I need to do,
So you push yourself. So pressure is good, like we've said, but then you get to a point when you are reaching that toxic point.
How do you know that toxic point?
When it starts harming yourself or you start feeling like you are harming the other people, it's just like the balance between jealousy. So like jealousy is even in therapy, they tell you that jealousy is a genuine feeling. But it's what because we all get jealous, like, this person got promoted. But then it's what you do with that jealousy. So like when you feel pressure, it's good to feel that pressure. But when you now maybe like you are sabotaging your class, your colleagues, you are doing crazy hours, like starving yourself, beating yourself up that, oh my God, I'm not doing the work. 2 days you've not eaten. No, I must, if I don't get this task done, I won't eat. And you're setting unrealistic targets for yourself and it's becoming toxic and to yourself and people around you. You are setting unrealistic targets for people, making work unconducive for the people you work with. It's already, you've crossed the boundary. So and most people know, but then they also just get inspired by other people who feel like that thing works for them. But if you are my boss, you won't. We for don't beat ourselves.
Let me give another example. So you know how let me give like a typical example. Just opening Instagram, right? And you see somebody with this luxury wig. And you're like, oh my God, I have to buy this. I know that's in your account. Maybe it's 50K you have in your account. Meanwhile, you have
did you check
money.
my account balance?
But meanwhile, you have money saved somewhere, maybe like a mutual fund or something, and you are thinking to go and withdraw that money to buy wig. That's clearly madness. So I feel like you would just know. But however, you know, if you get on Instagram and you see somebody's maybe in career, right, doing really well, you know, and maybe you're thinking, okay, how do I get to this next phase of my life? You know, do I have to write do I have to take like some certification exams, you know, do some courses here and there, you know, you're thinking about how to get it. You're not trying to get there almost immediately. Because imagine you having 50K in your account, but you have 1 million saved in your mutual fund. What that maybe you have been saving for maybe 1 year. It's now 1 million. Now your thing is go and buy the. I actually go and withdraw the money and buy the hair. Please, what would that hair do for you after you wear it?
And it depends on the career you're in. The hair can.
Okay. What if it's a case of okay, I agree with you, right? So you buy the hair, right, and go somewhere with that hair. But you know that you either make it that day or you don't make it that day. So if you wear that hair that day and nothing happens to you, would you keep what will happen?
You keep wearing it.
You keep trying. You do the hair well, so but you get what I mean, right? Yeah. So like you said, you know, you just I feel like, you know, once it's not toxic, you know, it's
I want to pick it up what you said you did, you know, when you were not feeling well and you were out of social media for like, say, 2 months, and it helped you reevaluate connections, right? Would you say that staying off social media can help people potentially when it comes to comparison, imposter syndrome? Would you advise that?
Yeah, so social media has its role because, again, you can almost... A lot of us have not been... Some people have not been an opportunity to travel the world. And then social media opens up the world to you. So social media shows you the possibilities across industries. So you can tell what are the things that you're doing right in your field, in the UK, in America.
Trends, you know.
You can follow those trends. So it's important. But then I also think that everything is a balance. So you should also find like systems that work for you. So I have 2 phones now. So when I'm going out, I delete Instagram from my main phone. So Instagram is on my home phone. So you now see people like, oh, So if I really need Instagram, I'll now re-download it. So that way you're able to now gauge, okay, am I on it for 4 hours? Am I on it for 2 hours? Am I on it for 3 hours? Am I spending too much time on here? Or how many times should I be here? So that way you're able to now gauge and then just set a balance for yourself. But me personally, I try not to now spend a lot of time on the platform. Just use the platform for what it's supposed to be, which is business.
But for you, because you're an entertainment person, right? I do know that social media is one of the ways you have to get your work out there, you know. So how are you able to say, oh, you know, even when I'm here, I'm making sure I'm focused on this and I'm not making it about what it shouldn't be about?
So, like, maybe I'll say I'm blessed because the industry I play in, people assume that you're showing your life when you're just genuinely showing work. So everything, like yesterday, I went for a panel discussion and I posted it. And people will be like, oh my God, this guy's just going out like the regular person. But the people who see it, who I'm trying to target, know that this is work and Desmond is open for speaking engagement in filming. So you see my caption targeted to be like, oh yeah, this was a fantastic conversation with this person. Blah, blah, blah. We're speaking about film distribution. Oh, this was work, this blah, blah, blah. But then you see me having fun with it. And then you're like, oh, it's just chilling. But the person that wants to invite me for my next gig has seen. But then you have no idea of when did I sleep, what my television is like, what am I doing in my person. So, but you are having the assumption that you know what Desmond is doing. And I posted that 8 hours after the event had passed.
I'm not going to lie. I literally just love how you said that, right? Because at a point in time of our friendship, in a certain way, right, it felt like we were drifting and you were always doing this, you're always doing that, you're always there. And like, this one's always busy, you know? And not that you just said it. He was working. But me, because I'm not in your industry, I'm looking at, oh, he's living the life, he's living large, he's having fun, and he's leaving his friends here.
Well, he's just working.
But he was working. And it goes again to show that you think you know what people are doing. You think you have other people's life figured out, and that's what is giving you pressure. But he probably doesn't even like the fact that he's stuck outside, working that late, doing all that.
Paying for your ride yourself.
And doing all that, right? But in my head, I'm like, oh, this guy is living the life. He's doing this. Same goes for career, right? You feel that, oh, this person is working with the C-suits. And this person is literally dying because the pressure and the expectation working directly with the C-suits can be very demanding.
That's where gratitude actually comes in. Gratitude, when you're just like, I feel like we always forget our small wins, no matter how small, and focus on. So it's almost like you forget the things that are actually working in your life and you focus on the things that are not working. That's where people just lose it in general. Because here you have good health, you have a source of income, even though you want more money.
Yeah.
But at least you have a steady source of income,
You don't even realize how much, like HMO, that a lot of companies get for, like a lot of staff members of companies get for free. A lot of people in entertainment will fight for it, to get it because they don't have it. You will see them pay just one small sickness. They'll pay the millions.
Say small sickness.
No, I'm serious. Like, there's somebody who has HMO. My brother would just have a headache and just walk into the hospital and just check. I'm like, I'm not spending anything. See him come out with medicine. But you, the other person in entertainment, you first pay for consultation.
Just don't buy one Panadol and just
So yeah, there's all of that. So in all, I just think that people, if we have more conversations with ourselves, like people, my personal thoughts, like there was a time that I just, like January when I got the opportunity to work as a content manager for a particular brand. The reason why I accepted it was because it was going to be steady income and it came with HMO. It's not because, like, genuinely, like, I was just like, since this won't kill me, I'll just be maybe doing 3 times a week. There's a calendar, there are tons of videos I'll just watch and make sure it works out. But I have all these things that just makes my life easy.
Yeah, facts. In fact, even when we interview, a lot of things
that's their benefits for them.
They always ask, is there HMO? Is there HMO? Is there HMO? Yeah. So I have a question. So social media, this and that. But do you actually have people that you follow on social media who actually inspire you and not make you feel less of yourself?
Yes, we all have. So personally, I have a ton of people who inspire me and I look up to, but then they are not in my industry.
Okay.
I do not people seek inspiration from their industry, but for me, I try to look outside so that I can see how people build structures and business and their business so that I can now try to see how it works for my industry. Because if I'm looking within my industry, I'm stuck in that bubble of the same play and then there's a ceiling to how far I can dream. But then when I look out, like one of my mentors, she's the MD CEO for the organization that Eco Electric is under. So she works under Empower. And then you see the way she builds the business. Sees the way she reforms work. Even there was a time that she had to can I share this? There was a time she had to fire someone because of a complaint and how she handled it in my presence. In my industry, when it comes to assault and sexual molestation and all those conversations, there's a unspoken rule to just let it pass.
Yeah.
But then you can see that this person was very coy with the person and got all the information she needed and then fired the person. I was like, she was like, I'm on your side. Let me know now. I know that you don't mean it. But she was getting all she needed from the guy. And then the other person was like, feeling like, this woman is not.
Yeah.
And when she needed to be on that person's side, she was like, you're fired. Because I now know what happened. Like, that singular moment taught me so much about. But in my industry, you just see people like, let them pass, more not to talk about them.
No normal thing.
Like, because everybody calls themselves my love, everybody hugs themselves, everybody. There's an unspoken rule that when you now cross the line, it feels like you're overdoing. But then in other industries, there's already spoken rules
Boundaries.
To like, don't do this.
Things you shouldn't
so you're able
do.
to learn from other industries. So that's why I look out to all these people. And then the way they approach money, the creative industries, they have a very terrible relationship with money. So it's just like, let's spend. But these people are like thinking, like from the conversation you even had, thinking long term. What's 2 years going to be like? What's next year going to be like? What are the big wins we are looking for? What's our goal for the next year? But people in my industry is more like, we have a big film coming. Let's go. The biggest premiere in Africa.
True.
When there's maybe make a film that goes to Cannes and then gives you global recognition that you could think about, but you're thinking of, how can the Lagos people know that we made a film? That's not what I'm doing.
I love that. I also love how you say that, like, even though, because if you ask me who I'm drawing inspiration from, first people I'm trying to think about people in HR, like, but now that, you are able to actually draw inspiration from people outside of, and you see how you're able to even pin it to, you see the way, there's boundaries outside of your industry. And it's something that I know that when you get your own opportunities, you would be able to establish all those type of boundaries. That's so great. However, right, how would you, let's say there's someone listening right now that is, struggling and feeling like, I'm behind in life. My friends are this, my colleagues are that. What would you say to them?
Pray. No, genuinely, in my own, when I felt that way, genuinely, January 1st, when people saw me, when we're crossing over, saw me crying and walking, because I took a personal decision to walk home from church that day. It was just me praying and thinking about the things that I wanted and just visualizing the things that I wanted. And this year, like from that role I talked about came on the 3rd of January. Like different things started working out. I got hired to produce a film that same month. Different things started coming. Investors I've been talking to for months started bringing money to make the film I wanted to do. All of those things started happening because I had visualized it. But then you also have to do the work. So you have to put in, there was a conversation I was listening to from MI. You can't go beyond somebody who, you might be a star, but then you can't go beyond somebody who puts in the hours. So you might say, I'm talented. There's always somebody who's talented. Like we all have the skill. We're all great in our industries. But then you can't beat somebody who, say for example, you put 2 hours and then you're a star and then this person puts 20 hours. There's no way. Even if you have grace, there's no way. There's something that the person must have found about the business. There are mistakes that the person must have seen. There are different things that the person must have seen, workouts, tested, failed, that builds the person that you've not figured out. So for me, I think put in the hours, pray, find help. Like anything I'm doing, genuinely, I call somebody to help. Like I rarely say no to work. So if I need to do something and I see that it intertwines with something you want to do, it's something you're already doing. If I'm going to do something about HR, I'll definitely call you. Just like, hey, blah blah blah, what do you think about this? When I was about to start a podcast, I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Oh, do you think it would be nice as a bit? You just get people's opinions and you move on.
I love that. So put in the work, pray, and find a community.
Yeah.
Finding a community is actually very key, especially when you're actually struggling with things like this. Having someone to be able to call and like, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling down. And sometimes, the thing with feelings is that
they are valid.
They are valid, but you kind of feel ashamed of them. Like,
and they're also at the moment. Feelings are also at the moment. You feel this way now and then you move on to something else.
Sometimes
at
they linger. And that's where it becomes a problem.
Yes, I agree. But when it lingers, right, you will see that at a point in time, it's not lingering for a long period of time. Like you're sad now, you're happy, and then remember like, oh my god, I'm broke, and then you're sad again. Do you get what I'm saying? It's what I mean by it's at the moment. So I feel like we shouldn't always also focus on that as well. Focusing on your journey as well is also very important. Face your journey. Like you said, putting in the work. You know what you're doing, right? Just put in the work and also celebrating small wins. Like no matter how small it
very
is.
Very true.
Imagine you want to write this exam. You made a payment. Do you know how much of a big deal that's right now? Imagine having to write what's it called, CSHRM or what? Mm-hmm. Imagine having to pay in dollars.
Tears in my eyes. But yeah, I do agree. Finding a community, putting the work, gratitude, which you had mentioned. A lot of times,
every day.
You know how normally you would be very grateful to have maybe a Toyota car, but because you see everybody riding Mercedes,
that's the next car you want to buy.
And I feel like
maybe I'm built different. So if everybody's driving it, that's not what I'm doing.
But for a lot of people, just because this is what people are wearing this hair, 1 million naira hair. Everybody is now wearing 1 million naira hair. Or people are driving this type of car. That's why we have Lexus everywhere. Or even
people are buying
Rover.
Labubu baby.
Oh my god!
Have you seen the craze for it?
It's ridiculous. And so we just need to center ourselves again. Gratitude, celebrate yourself, because this is not green on the other side. It's green
not,
where
the
you
grass
water
isn't-
it.
no,
So it's
absolutely.
like you are your own person. You don't need to think about, what Joke is doing, what Desmond is doing.
Even though
Focus
it's
on
hard,
me.
even though it's hard, though, but
It is,
just
though.
focus. To be
Just
honest,
focus
it's
on
hard,
yourself,
like,
yeah.
because especially like you said, especially if it's in a case where you are literally doing the same thing with the person. It's even worse when you're even age mates.
And maybe your parents know them. Oh,
It's forget even parents. It's worse when you're age mates because you be like,
what's
she's
she doing
20,
and
I'm
I'm not
20.
doing?
She's doing it, I'm not doing it. So it's really hard. But like you said, you have to just be intentional about about how you're living your life. Because if not, you pretty much won't do anything.
Comparison may definitely be a thief of joy. However, you are your own person, right? And you need to remind yourself that regardless of what is happening outside, you are enough.
Always.
You are more than enough. You do not need external validation or material things to make you feel that you are better. You don't need the award. You don't need that.
And you need it too.
Oh my God.
But you don't need it to feel enough, so that when you don't have it, you do not feel that
Something is missing.
Because especially for promotion, especially for people who work in organizations, where you get promoted year on year, right? I know a friend who, they promoted everybody. They didn't promote her first year, second year.
Why?
Again, there isn't really a science to it, but the third year she got double promotion.
You
but
see?
Imagine if she had lingered and be like, or
even left.
There are a lot of things that goes into it. A lot of things that go into it. However, again, you have to be intentional. You have to remind yourself that you're enough, and you have to remind yourself that yes, this is that person's time, but my time is coming. While I'm waiting, I can celebrate other people.
Absolutely, yes. Also, celebrating other people also matters as well. Yeah, celebrating people too. You see your friend doing well. Yes, you're not doing well, but oh my God, I'm so happy. Genuinely, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Because really, like, there's something they say in Yoruba, like it's almost like, if something good is happening around you, if you're able to celebrate people, you will just
come to you.
It's like manifesting something. Yeah, celebration.
I'm celebrating Precious. Let all the good come to me.
Amen.
All right, thank you very much, Desmond, for coming in today.
I had fun.
Is there any final words of our audience?
Yeah, Precious lives a fake life on the podcast.
I need money, please.
She does. She's very fake.
Please, I need the money.
So Precious is always listening to the podcast. She's always pretending like, when you talked about 50K, I was like, 50K in my account. I'm like, Precious, since we're
always pretending.
I don't have money. But you see, Precious is the only person that I think will have a house. She might have built a house and be pretending that,
please,
my God, guys.
let my helpers find me,
broke.
guys.
Acting broke.
Guys, let my helpers find me, please.
But yeah, I'm really grateful that I got invited. I really enjoyed this conversation and keep building. I don't like HRs because I just had a weird conversation with an HR, but
sorry about that.
I'm in a weird place with an HR right now, so maybe that's why I don't like it. But then I do like Kofo, my first boss, who is a phenomenal HR person.
But just because one HR is bad doesn't make us all. Do you get what I mean?
To not be trusted.
Anyway, that's a cover for another day.
All right. Thank you very much, Desmond, for coming in. Thank you for this amazing conversation. Let's all remember that comparison is a thief of joy. You have to be intentional. You have to put in the work. You have to be grateful. Pray if you are, a religious person. But if you're not, well,
pray still.
Well, all right, let's all have an amazing day. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast, both on Spotify. Guys, big news. We're also on Apple and YouTube podcast. So you can follow us everywhere on Instagram and on Twitter, The Other Side of HR. More information will be coming on. Thank you, guys.
Bye. And that's a wrap on today's episode. We laughed, we learned, and hopefully, just hopefully, we have changed the way you see HR for good.
If you love this episode, even if you just mildly enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, your co-workers. Remember, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, and Jam It.
Until next time, keep thriving, keep surviving, and remember, HR is beyond just hiring and firing of tools for the management.
Catch you on the next one. Bye.